Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beasley, AC, QC, Governor of New South Wales, the Honourable David Elliott, MP, Minister for Police and Emergency Services, Mrs. Tammy Davies, MP, Member for Mulgoa, Commissioner Paul Baxter, QSO, Fire and Rescue New South Wales, Assistant Commissioner Ben Limited, New South Wales Rural Fire Service, Assistant Commissioner Tony Gatley, ASC, New South Wales Ambulance, Director South, John Harrison, Corrective Services, New South Wales, Erin Wilkins of the Darra people, Karina Leverett of the Roromai Tribe, State Secretary Legendary Fire Brigades Employees Union, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, firefighters and graduates. On behalf of the Assistant Commissioner Roger Mecca, Director of Education and Training, the officers, firefighters and support staff, I bid you a most warm and sincere welcome to the Fire Rescue New South Wales Emergency Services Academy this morning. I hope that you enjoy your visit with us and that you find the demonstration, which we're giving later, interesting. I would like to invite Erin Wilkins to come forward for the welcome to come to school.
Warami, Budgery Malinawal, Naya Erin Wilkins, Jen Bulbul, Dora Gurian. Welcome and good morning. It's good to see you all. My name is Erin Wilkins. I'm a strong and proud Aboriginal woman from the Darug people. I'd like to acknowledge and pay respects to my ancestors in whose footsteps I follow, to my elders who walk beside me, and to the children, our future leaders, who will then follow in the prints that we leave behind. I'd also like to acknowledge and pay respects to all people here today and to your ancestors also. The Darug Nation embraces the land, seas and waterways from the Sydney coastline through to the Blue Mountains, from the Hawkesbury in the north to Georges River at Appin in the south. Our country is bordered by the Georges River, Lane Cove rivers, Nepean, Hawkesbury and Colo. We are both freshwater people, we are both saltwater people. We are both mountains and plains people. As an ancient Aboriginal protocol, a welcome to country is a very important process as we journey across each other's lands. As we walked across these different nations, our people would stop near our boundaries, light a fire, and the smoke from our fire is us knocking on their front door. When performing a welcome to country, it is a way of inviting and blessing and welcoming people to walk with us on our lands, to learn our language, our stories, to trade resource and to share practice. We ask with humility and with respect that you give to our people, to our lands, and most importantly, to our laws. In return, we acknowledge your journey and your presence on country, and we keep you safe while you travel. I am Darug. I am born of these lands and in these waters, both in body and in spirit. I may not look nor live like my ancestors, but my connection and my spirit is just as strong. A connection and a spirit that can never be broken. Our ancestors' voices are echoed, so let us listen. May they keep us strong. May we hold each other up. May we share the ways of the old ways and teach those who follow to tread softly on our lands. Our people have gathered here since the dream time, since the first sunrise, coming together for hunting, feasting, ceremony. Community and the way we care for each other is the foundation of our culture. Although we all hold different roles and responsibilities, no one is less valued and we are all equal. Whether thousands of years ago or just today, it is our role in our community in which we live and work to establish safe space and responsibility to look after all people. We never look down, we always look across. Our stories, our people, our sites, and our ancestors, we're still here. We feel our presence and we see them in our landscapes. We just need to sit, listen and watch. This morning we come together to recognise all the hard work and to celebrate the graduation of the new firefighter recruits, which is one of their big milestones. May the adventures in this new journey be celebrated and recognised, and I wish all the graduates the best for their new beginnings. I encourage everyone to walk with good spirit and to walk side in side. Let your new journeys, wherever they may take you, be filled with adventure, hope and dreams. May we be there to stand beside each other, to keep them strong, and to allow them to open their wings, take flight on a path of their own. I will now welcome you into country and language and translate it back into English. Waramai, Dai Darag Norawa, Bamubadu Yurigan, Nangabayana, Janawe Bayala Guru Gurgu, Nangabayana Nain Mudali, Gulbanga Babuna, Yurigan, Yurawa, Norawa. Welcome, this is Dai Country, the land and waterways of my people. I invite you to walk with me and to listen as the winds tell the stories of long ago. I ask that you tread softly on our land and to give honour and respect to our ancestors, to our people and to our country. Didgerigal, thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to put your hands together for our graduates who are coming to the parade. Please stand and join Karina in singing our national anthem, which we sing in both the Darrell and English languages. The words are printed on the back of your programs.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gift of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Nini Australia ga Budjari Garibama, Nini Budjari Purika, Budjari Bamu Yara Raga Mari Wallabra, Bamu Yo Mari Walla Morang, Bamu Morang Mari Kabum Wallaba, Baja Jabang Burita. Yaramur Australia ga, Yaramur Australia ga, Yanabudjari Australia ga, Nini Baya Laga Yanabudjari Australia ga. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. I'd like to invite Major Lindsay Smith, FRNSW, New South Wales Senior Chaplain, to give a blessing.
Family, friends and colleagues, good morning. Thank you for coming and sharing today in this very special occasion. On behalf of my wife and myself, it's an absolute honour and privilege to be here and to ask for a blessing upon these graduating recruits from Fire and Rescue New South Wales. They've worked hard, they've worked long, and today is the public acknowledgement of all that they have put in to get them to the point today where they are truly firefighters in Fire and Rescue New South Wales. So would you join me please as we offer prayer for the graduating recruits. Almighty God, today we want to thank you for these graduating firefighters and to ask for your blessing upon them. As they serve in their appointed stations across this state, we ask that you will bless them each and the crews that they work with. As they work in their communities to protect life and property, we ask that they will be kept safe in all areas of their life, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Today we also want to thank you for their families and loved ones who have supported them during their training. Bless them each as they continue to offer their support and love. And I also ask that you will bless this Emergency Services Academy and all the staff who work here to prepare the recruits for their future careers. So today, thank you for each of these firefighters, their families, and all who have worked here to support them and train them. And we ask that you will bless them all in faith believing. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain. I'd like to invite Commissioner Paul Baxter, QSO, Fire and Rescue New South Wales, to address the graduation ceremony.
Warramai, Mitiga, Gurum Barrack. We're on Darug lands out here, and I want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we meet on here today, acknowledging their elders past, present, and also acknowledge their continuing connection to the land that we're on, to the sky and to the water. Could I please start by thanking Erin for that lovely welcome to country. It's very much appreciated you being here today, and Karina, as always, the beautiful dual anthem singing. Thank you very much. Twice today. It gets better every time I hear it. Thank you. Could I please also acknowledge our special guest today, Your Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beasley, AC, QC, Governor of New South Wales, and say just how excited and pleased that we are to have you here today to join us and to join our graduates today. It's fantastic time for you to take time out of your schedule to be here to acknowledge that. For our Minister, the Honourable David Elliott, MP, for our member for Mulgoa, a regular occurrence for you supporting us too, Ms Tanya Davies, thank you for being here. To our combined services friends that are here from Police, Mr Gately from Ambulance, and Ben from New South Wales Rural Fire Service and Corrective Services, thank you very much for being here. It's important that we share this with our sister services as well. To my senior executive staff that have taken time out of their days to be here, welcome. To our senior officers across Fire Rescue New South Wales, firefighters and trainers from here from the Academy, and all other family and friends that are here today. Probably the most special thing to me just a moment ago when the graduating firefighters walked on was to hear one of our young attendees today yell out, "Daddy!" and just how proud they are to see you graduating. That is exactly what it's all about. So to our recruits, what we're all here for, welcome to you. And it's wonderful this year to be able to welcome everybody and have this ceremony in large numbers again after a temporary hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And what better way to come together than to celebrate you, our people, the newest people in our organisation. After all, the Minister said this morning when we opened our new training facility out the back, that whilst we have fantastic world-class equipment, fire appliances and technology, all of it is absolutely useless unless we have highly trained, motivated and skilled firefighters, our people, to do the job that's required of them. And that's why welcoming all of you today to the other 7,000 firefighters across the ranks of New South Wales, who make up one of the world's largest fire and rescue services, certainly the largest in Australia and the busiest in Australia, to our job is one of the most enjoyable parts of my role. Each year we welcome around 100 permanent firefighters and 400 on-call recruits, modern firefighters who are as diverse as the communities that we serve. You all bring with you a wide range of backgrounds and skills that are crucial to ensuring that we adapt to our constantly changing operational environment. And the last 18 months has thrown some challenges at all of us. Those recent times have been very challenging, and I'm extremely proud of the professionalism of our people, not only rising to every challenge, but continuing to deliver critical, reliable emergency services to anyone, anywhere, anytime. The unprecedented bushfire season now seems like a lifetime ago. It was closely followed by severe storms and flooding, then the global 19 pandemic, and then, more recently, again, severe storms and widespread flooding. We've done things that we've never done before, using our internationally deployable caches of humanitarian support response here in Australia to Bateman's Bay to assist with the Ruby Princess crisis, and also our fire safety specialists working in the hotel quarantine environment, making sure that returning Aussies are safe in their hotels using fire systems that can't be used in normal ways to evacuate people from buildings. And while we've also always worked closely with other services, recent times have highlighted to us just how important those relationships are and how important it is that we work extra specially close through these challenging times. And we've seen that collaboration at all levels, from local, state, national and international levels over the crises that have been thrown at us through the last 18 months. There's been a massive joint agency response to the recent flooding on the New South Wales coast, and it was a very powerful demonstration of us working together for the community's benefit. And the outstanding efforts of our people during these challenging events has highlighted just what a wide range of capabilities we have, as well as our ability to adapt. Our calling is to be prepared for anything. It's a lofty goal, but it's important we do that to protect the irreplaceable. 100 years ago in fire services, that was just about fire. But being a firefighter today is about so much more than just fighting fires. It's being prepared for anything to help anyone, anywhere, anytime. That means fire prevention and education, fire in both the urban and the rural landscapes, rescue from all manner of emergencies, hazardous materials events, assisting our ambulance services with emergency medical care to the sick and injured, assisting our police with counter-terrorism efforts, protecting the environment, which is so important to all of us these days, and providing humanitarian responses across Australia and indeed across the world. And our social media is an extremely good way of us connecting now with our communities and connecting with them about how they can be more resilient at home. We now have thousands of followers, millions of engagements, and those stories come from you, our firefighters, telling those stories every day, just like you did through the flood emergencies in the mid-north coast recently, giving people a really up-close and personal account of what it's like to work in those sort of situations. And I encourage all of you, as our new firefighters, to get involved in that and help tell your story to your communities. With many of the recent challenges, it's been more important than ever to be proactive in maintaining the good mental fitness of our people and addressing mental health issues early. The potentially traumatic events that we see occur not only during the big incidents that we've experienced, but also happen every day in everyday exposures to incidents like motor vehicle crashes and rescues across our cities and state. Our on-call firefighters face the added challenge of turning out to incidents where you may often know the people that are involved in some of that traumatic occurrences. So looking after each other, not only during incidents, but also checking in with each other after incidents and back on station, or in the case of families at home, is so important. And as an agency, with the support of our government, we have really shifted our approach to proactively supporting your wellbeing through programs such as our bystander engagement, firefighter readiness training, and the expansion of our wellbeing team to include more psychologists and wellbeing officers who come from your ranks. And they work alongside our volunteers firefighters who are our peer support officers right across our network of stations. And those services are available to all firefighters through our employee assistance program and indeed our chaplains. And we encourage you through your career to watch out for yourself, to watch out for your mates, and for the families that are here today, to watch out for your loved ones that are in our job. We've also developed very strong partnerships with organisations like Fortum Australia, who provide wellbeing activities and resources for our firefighters, and also clinical services for you and for your families in your time of need. There's always more that we can do, and that is why mental health remains one of our strategic priorities in our Plus plan, and we have developed more recently our practical mental health framework to guide those initiatives for the next few years. Just in closing, I wanted to acknowledge and thank all the families for your support of your loved ones during the training process and becoming a fully fledged firefighter with Fire Rescue New South Wales. I also wanted to thank the education and training staff who have helped shape you and impart their knowledge and their skills to make you a valued member of our team. To our graduating firefighters, welcome to the Fire and Rescue New South Wales family. Your teammates on your stations will look out for you and you will look out for them. No matter what your situation is, you will never be alone. We have a proud history, and looking at our recruits that are graduating today, I know we have a very bright future. Thank you very much and congratulations.
We'd like to invite Her Excellency, the Honourable Margaret Beesley, ACQC, Governor of New South Wales, to address the ceremony.
If I may, in the language of the Gadigal, the land on which Government House stands, say, good morning, Wujuri Gamarua. I acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, and I thank you for the welcome you have given to us to cross this land with you. And I also acknowledge all First Nations people here today as we welcome the newest recruits and those being promoted within fire and rescue. And can I say, let the day come quickly when we all sing our anthem in language. Thank you, Karina. It was so beautiful. Fire and Rescue New South Wales prides itself on its professionalism, its expertise, its commitment, and on putting the community first, more often than not in very trying circumstances. It's because of that commitment and that community spirit that as Governor, I will have the honour next week to invest with their Order of Australia medals 3 members of this community, of the Fire and Rescue New South Wales community, in recognition of their service to the wider community. They are Deputy Commissioner Jeremy Marcus Futrell, who is here, Superintendent Norman Buckley, Zone Commander of Metropolitan East 3 Command, and Captain John Dunn from Nowra Brigade, all recipients of the Fire Service Medal awarded in the Australia Day Honours List this year. It will be a great honour for me to be present to invest each of those extraordinary individuals. As the Commissioner has already said, Fire and Rescue New South Wales is one of the world's largest fire and rescue emergency services, and as we saw recently during the floods of the mid-north coast and the Hawkesbury region, it's a service that is critical to the safety of our community. Hundreds of firefighters from Fire and Rescue New South Wales, together with New South Wales State Emergency Service and the other emergency service agencies, worked around the clock to rescue and to assist residents who were caught up in the treacherous conditions that were then battering New South Wales. I met personnel from the various agencies in Port Macquarie 2 weeks after the floods. As you might imagine, they were still feeling the effects of working those long hours and those arduous shifts. In my conversations with them, 2 things stood out. First, was, again, that high degree of professionalism and the dedication of these men and women. Secondly, and again, Commissioner Baxter has mentioned this, was the degree and extent of collaboration that now operates between the various emergency services, which in turn is making each individual service more effective when those emergencies do arise. Given the strong community spirit we have in New South Wales, it's not surprising to me that each year up to 8,000 applications are received to join this very important emergency service. And it's a testament to that spirit and to your individual commitment that you, the recruits, stand here today at this ceremony as the honoured graduates of Fire and Rescue New South Wales. After your 13 weeks of intense training, you have the distinction, and it is a distinction, of becoming members of Fire and Rescue New South Wales, chosen for your teamwork, your problem-solving skills, and your commitment to providing an essential service to New South Wales. Each of you, as firefighters, whether permanent or those on call in our rural fire stations, have exhibited an ability to absorb huge amounts of information in a relatively short period of time. Importantly, you have demonstrated the ability to apply your new knowledge in practical ways across the diverse range of Fire and Rescue New South Wales capabilities, some of which are actually shown here on the vehicle behind me, and I've been looking at it as we've been having the ceremony this morning. But there's another factor about you which is perhaps the most significant. You have each exhibited the courage to challenge yourselves, and you have shown that you are resilient and have an ability to work under pressure. With climatic events becoming more treacherous, you're entering the service at a time of great need, and I trust that that fills you with a sense of purpose as we all adapt to such challenging times. In addition, you are the first responders in such a diverse range of emergency incidents: road crashes, structural collapses, flood and cliff rescues, all of which require you to work alongside others, to work safely at heights, to be trained in community risk management, fire technology, and hazardous materials management. This academy, and I will say proudly, is growing to meet these ever-changing needs of modern emergency services. This is why the training that you have received here at Fire and Rescue New South Wales needs to be, and indeed is, the best in the world, and which, as your motto tells us, has prepared you for anything. As you go out and undertake your day-to-day duties, I'm sure that you will quickly realise that this career is like no other. So much so that you may even be called to interstate and international disaster zones. Such are the skills for which this service is recognised. We saw this in the 2011 Christchurch earthquake and the Fukushima tsunami, where Fire and Rescue New South Wales formed a large component of Australia's response to those tragedies. Your first call of duty, however, is to your home state, New South Wales. By putting on the uniform, your skills will be recognised as reliable, trustworthy, and exceptional. The emblem on your uniform, and I am proud at this as Governor, includes the New South Wales state emblem with the motto, which in its English translation says, "Newly risen, how brightly we shine." While the training is first rate, your job will be no means easy. It's an enormous responsibility to be thrust into catastrophic conditions, to protect lives, to contain burning houses, vehicles or bushland, to rescue people and animals from fire and floods. And you had another challenge last year, Fire and Rescue New South Wales, in working out how to best deliver the safety and the education programs, which are such an integral part of the service you provide to the community. You were up to the challenge, and unsurprisingly, and as always, you did it so well. Again, as the Commissioner has pointed out to you, and perhaps I believe would have reminded you, there will be times when you'll need respite, and you'll need support. Each of you, individually, must be astute to recognise this within yourself. And when you do need that time or need that support, it will be a testament to your personal strength and insight to take the time to reach out for the support that will assist you to navigate the inevitable and unique challenges of this job. In this regard, you can go about your tasks having the satisfaction and the comfort, and indeed the professional pride in knowing that you have the support of your wonderful family and friends, your colleagues, and the broader fire and rescue family. To those who are being promoted today, you are recognised for the attributes for which I have spoken: commitment, dedication, and now, as more senior officers, for your leadership. So on behalf of the people of New South Wales, so proudly and so humbly, I thank you all for your dedication and your commitment, and I wish you all the very best for what I hope and I'm sure will be long and successful careers as Fire and Rescue New South Wales firefighters. Congratulations.
I'd like to invite the Honourable David Bennett, MP, Minister for Police and Emergency Services, to address the graduation ceremony.
Thank you, and can I start with also acknowledging Aaron and Karina for the wonderful and respectful way in which you honoured the ancient peoples of this continent, and I acknowledge your welcome, and to Her Excellency, to Commissioner Baxter, representatives of the other combat agencies, family, friends, and more importantly, our graduates. Today you have taken your first step, and there is a number of significant sayings about first steps. The ancient Australians talk about the walkabout being a rite of passage. The ancient Chinese often said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, and there's a biblical proverb that says you cannot judge somebody until you've taken a step in their shoes. And by marching on to this parade today, you have taken that symbolic first step. And the fascinating part about today is the imagination that we will all divulge in where that step or where those steps will take you into the future. It is quite possible that amongst the graduates today there is a future commissioner. It is quite probable that amongst the graduates today there will be future station officers, assistant commissioners, team leaders, and given that there are a couple of firefighters currently in Parliament, if this all fails, you can always enter politics. But I wouldn't encourage that. Please stay as honourable as you possibly can. Though last week I was honoured to take steps amongst some of your peers when veterans of the Australian Defence Force, who are now members of Fire and Rescue, invited me to march alongside them on Anzac Day. And reflecting on that experience, and it's been 6 years since I was first made the Emergency Services Minister, and these symbolic occasions, these protocols, these traditions that we're involved in today, as I was last Sunday on Anzac Day, highlight the unique nature of the profession that you have chosen. And it is an important profession. It's a profession that, of course, is often called the last line of defence. You have no doubt heard amongst your peers that you are acknowledged and thanked as being those that run towards danger when everybody is running away. And for that reason, we're very, very grateful. But you have also not just started a job, you've actually entered a new life. A life that, as Her Excellency has just acknowledged, and I acknowledge also the member for Mulgoa, Tanya Davies, who alongside myself have been honoured to attend Government House when you have been given higher accolades than many other professions are offered with the Australian Fire Service Medal. They were on top of commendations. They are on top of the fact that here, when you start your new job, there are bands playing, there are flags flying, there is symbolism, because we don't just consider you as public servants in uniform. We consider you as important custodians of everything that makes us civilised. We are a nation that has people that are prepared to put their life on the line without any thought of recognition and reward. And for that reason, the parents of those graduating today deserve a very special thank you. Thank you for bringing up a child who is prepared to put their life on the line for those they don't even know. That took some very, very serious nurturing. And for that, the state is eternally grateful. To the children of Fire and Rescue New South Wales, your mother and father, or mother or father, or in some cases both, have decided to enter an organisation that is very, very special. Next week we will celebrate St Florian's Day, the patron saint of firefighters. That is a very special time for us to reflect on the sacrifice often called upon for our firefighters. In a couple of weeks' time is my favourite day of the year. It's Fire and Rescue Open Day, when every community does its best to sink 10, 20 kilos of sausages at their local firefighting facility in record time. And if you can beat my local at Balcombe Hills, I'll buy you a carton. But I must say, the respect that I see on offer by the community when we do engage on these very special occasions is proof positive to me that you should be very proud of the profession that you have chosen to join. For that reason, can I thank you for joining Fire and Rescue New South Wales? Can I congratulate you on the service that you have given thus far through your training? Can I wish you every success in the deployments that you are on offer, whether it be around the corner or across the world. You have become a very, very important member of our society. You are custodians of some wonderful history, and for that, we're very proud of you. Godspeed.
Switch to back to sir. Move to the centre of the stage, please. We'll begin presenting the graduation certificates to our firefighters, as well as officers receiving their promotion certificates today.
The first recipient is firefighter Adam Hopp, who is attached to the Warragamba Fire Station. Firefighter Ada Knight is attached to Asheville Fire Station. Firefighter Alice Kenny, attached to Underneath Fire Station. Firefighter Amy Dodge, attached to the City of Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Amy Essel, attached to the City of Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Amy Roberts, attached to Cessnock Fire Station. Firefighter Anna Staff, attached to Terratoga Fire Station. Firefighter Angela Williams, attached to Underneath Fire Station. Firefighter Rod McDaniel, attached to North Hornby's Fire Station. Firefighter Carolyn Zadie, attached to City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Craig Wilson, attached to Delroy Fire Station. Firefighter Dalton Hoskinson, attached to Carolyn Fire Station. Firefighter David Scholes, attached to Honeymoon Fire Station. Firefighter Jamie Woodgate, attached to Broadwood Fire Station. Firefighter Joshua Crown, attached to Cranberry Fire Station. Firefighter Kelly Ontario, attached to Roygambler Fire Station. Firefighter Katrina Graham, attached to City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Lauren Buttery, attached to City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Stevenson, attached to City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Luke McDonald, attached to Cessnock Fire Station. Firefighter Basket, attached to Dawson Fire Station. Firefighter Barnes, attached to the Aurora Fire Station. Firefighter Neil Stewart, attached to Albany City Fire Station. Firefighter Nick Ellis, attached to City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Nicholas Ellis, City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Nicholas Wyborn, Terry Fire Station. Firefighter Nikita Stanley, Mascot Fire Station. Firefighter Paul Richard, Lockhart Fire Station. Firefighter Robert Lane, City Sydney Fire Station. Firefighter Rosemary Irving, Arden Fire Station. Firefighter Rupert Curry, Carroll Fire Station. Firefighter Russell Crichton, Sydney Fire by the Ryan Cook, Lincoln Fire Station. By the Sam Whitney, Mascot Fire Station. By the Sharing Peace, Platinum Fire Station. By the Sony Piano, City Sydney Fire Station. These firefighters are receiving their promotional certificates. Station Officer Gonzalo Herrera. Station Officer Joel Curley. Station Officer Ryan Shannon. Leading Station Officer Anthony Buchanan. Leading Station Officer David Abson. Leading Station Officer Lucas Drake. Leading Station Officer Michael Heslershuk. Leading Station Officer Travis Porter. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of this morning's proceedings. I would like to invite Your Excellency, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Tanya Davis, and Commissioner Baxter to join the graduates for a photo shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, whilst we're organising the photo, would you please make your way over to the covered area on my right for the practical demonstration. Graduates, would you please assemble on stage.